So I can't really overstate the significance and importance of the result of today's test is. If it's a bad result, it's going to have a profound effect on the farm, probably for the rest of the year. So, morning world, and welcome to Friday, February the 17th and part 2 of our TB test. So we did the injections on Tuesday, and today is the day when we read the results of the test. So basically the cattle are injected with 2 inert dead sources of TB. So an avian source, which is the top injection, and a bovine source, which is the bottom. So the avian one is there just to see if there's a reaction. If you've got a farm with lots and lots of poultry on it, then you're likely to get a bigger lump on that. But literally the top injection is just a contrast injection, just to see if the bottom one, it could be a false positive. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, if there's no lumps on the animals' necks, we've got nothing to worry about. It's clear test. If there's a lump on the top but not on the bottom, that's a clear test. Nothing to worry about. If we've got a lump on the bottom and not on the top, that's a fail. And then there are various sliding scales of in between. So we go from a positive, yeah, he's definite reactor, to a well, we're not sure, it could be, it couldn't be, which is an inconclusive, which is what we had last year. We had 1 inconclusive animal, and that basically shut the farm down for, well, best part of 180 days. So yeah, it was a pain. So touch wood, we're going to go clear. The only bit of good news is a neighbour over the road had their TB test only a week or so back, and they've gone clear. So we are kind of open that we're going to follow suit. Right, I need to chuck these guys out, give them a bit of clean, fresh bed before the vet comes. She'll be here in an hour or 2. So just got to, like I say, sort the bed out, put some gates back up, and then we are ready to go. This is all set up to go. Literally all I got to do is pull that gate round, chain it up, open that gate, we're done, we're set. So I'm pleased to say nothing's dropped a calf, and I hope they keep the legs crossed for the rest of the day, because I don't want anything else to drop a calf. So yeah, that's all right. Hello, darling. Nothing. Wind 6.0 is definitely safe. I can see a little rise patch on that one, but it is only little. That would be a kicker, wouldn't it? If I had one of my in-calf ready to drop heifers go. That would be, oh, let's not even think about it. Hello. Hello. Where's your tags, eh? Where's your tags? We got a couple in here with missing tags, so I think what we might try and do is replace some of those while we've got them in the crush. We might as well. I could take it all apart and do it. I need to move all that up about 4 inches, but I decided a bit of waste string is a far better idea. had flowers at yesterday. Get out and check. Yeah, that's better. So the problem was not up that end. The problem was this end. Because this hurdle had been pushed this way, this was all skew, and the gate was catching against there. We couldn't open that gate. Now I can. So that's kind of fixed then. That's got it. Okay, so Abby's just rung me from the practice. Deborah's going to be here in about 25 minutes. So, yeah, not much longer to wait. What a relief. I didn't go lump hunting last night or this morning on purpose. Apart from 160 who happened to be stood here, and I just saw that she didn't have anything, and then I just rubbed my hand over just to be 100% sure. But yeah, clear test. Debbie said there was only 3 lumps that were actually worthy of measuring, and all of the bottom lumps were smaller than the top lumps. So she said, yeah, nice and clean. She was really happy with the test. I'm overjoyed because it means now that I'm free to do some stuff that I couldn't do if I'd failed, if I hadn't passed. So yeah, I got a couple of ear tags to replace in there, which I had and ahhed about doing at the same time, but Deb was busy, and it was a case of, no, let's just get on, we'll do the test. I can get the cows back in quietly later on while the crusher's all set up, and I can just do a few replacement ear tags, and I can tick that job off the list. Right. Coffee. I need coffee. Right, I'm going to go and see my guys and the routes that they're on, but before I go, just a couple of things. we've gone clear on our TB tests, and I'm so relieved. I don't know, is it because I'm getting older and softer, but it's getting more and more stressful, TB testing, and of course we do it twice a year. But yeah, this afternoon I'm just drained. I had intentions to go and do stuff, but I don't know whether it was the relief. I know this is being a bit wussy, I know, but I feel absolutely drained after a TB test this morning, and even though it went well. So, and I would just also like to say I'm really sorry to hear that Gareth Wynne-Jones's test did not go as well. He's had a retest, as I understand it, he's had a retest on an inconclusive animal, heavily pregnant animal. She was 7 or 7.5 months pregnant. She's only got 4 to 6 weeks to go before she calves, and she's gone down inconclusive again, which means that she's going to go off and be destroyed, and that he's shut down for 60, 120 days. Honestly, and I mean, he's a bit more colourful with the language than me about the disease and the effects it has, but he's only saying what we're all thinking. The badgers, okay, I'm gonna put my foot in it. The badgers, they may not be the only thing that spreads TB in our animals, and yes, there will be some herds that have it in them, and you may have a sleeper in a herd that never shows a sign but is carrying it. It's possible, and hopefully future testing and better testing will identify that. But the TB in our wildlife population, the badgers, and increasingly the deer, we've got so much activity with deer around here. Deers don't respect fences, they don't respect boundaries, county lines or anything like that. They just go where they please. And yeah, if you look at the range of deer and badgers, how far they travel, I mean, no, I won't say it. When I was a very young fella, no, I will say it. My dad worked on the Ministry of Ag, okay, and one of his jobs was surveying badgers and TB and stuff like that. And as a little boy, I used to go out with him, and I learned a lot of stuff as a very young fellow about TB and badgers and how they spread it, and all these bunny brushers that say, oh no, badger can't be responsible, and we don't know what we're talking about, and it's all the farmers' fault, stuff like that. No, or okay, well, yeah, there will be some farms that are filthy dirty, and there will be some farmers that, you know, probably could do better. But honestly, we are supposed to be a TB-free country. As far as I'm aware, we're recognised as a TB-free country, even though we're not. The government made some promises, whether it was to us or the country, that by 2030 or 2035, TB would be eradicated in this country. It could be done. It could be done. And you know what? It could be done at more or less no cost to the taxpayer. Because right now, TB is costing you and everybody else in the UK, well, some of you are in the UK, it's costing millions, you know, hundreds of millions in compensation and lost business, and businesses just disappearing through TB. And it could all be sorted out, and really all the government's got to do is say to the farmers, okay, sort it out. And most of us, not all, there'd be some who wouldn't, enough of us would sort it out, and we could keep the government's promise. We could do it. Yeah, it would not be a nice job, it would be an unpleasant job, not something anybody would particularly relish in doing, but in 50 years' time, we could have a rebooted population of all these animals without the disease. Okay? All we're doing is tickling this disease. We're not doing anything about it sincerely. We're not tackling it. We're just tickling it. I don't know. I'll get a bit of hate for saying it, but we really do need to put our big boy pants on and say, right, let's all get together, let's sort this out. Let's sort it out. So, anyway, Gareth, I'm really sorry that you've gone down. I understand your pain. I've been there, I've felt it. And Defra, get off your fat ass and do something about it. So, yeah, I noticed a post on Facebook, Badger Protection Society or Badger League or something, and they're all going, oh, throwing their hands up in shame, and no, it's all Clarkson's fault, he's kicked it off again. Well, yeah, he probably has, because most of you folks out there, in fact, well, actually some of you that watch me, will, you know what TB is, but you know what? The majority of the population, they have no idea. None. So all they can see is little fluffy badgers and deer that can speak English, can walk on two legs, wear a waistcoat and smoke a pipe. So we really need a wake-up pill and come back and find some reality. Anyway, personally, I'm relieved that we've gone clear. I believe one of the reasons we've got less of an issue is because some control has taken place completely legally, and I do believe that has made an impact. In fact, I think there are studies around here that don't quote me on this because I'm not sure, but as I understand, since the cull, TB has been dropping year by year by up to 20%. Like I say, don't quote me on that. That's just something I picked out of my head and I remember from somewhere, but I know it's definitely less. Definitely less. So, and as far as you folks are going, oh, well, why don't you vaccinate? There's a reason why we don't vaccinate, okay? And rather than asking me why we don't vaccinate, why don't you look it up? Okay, look up why we can't vaccinate. Look up why we can't vaccinate badgers. I'll tell you one thing, it costs you 3 times more than the compensation you're already paying for all the cattle. It's cheaper to let the cattle die than to vaccinate the bloody badgers. So they go, why don't you vaccinate the cattle? Well, there's a reason we can't vaccinate the cattle as well. Okay? Yet. But even so, vaccinating the cattle will not remove TB from our wildlife. Badgers are still infecting other badgers. Deer are still infecting other deer. The disease is out there, and we have the means to control it. We just don't have the will. Well, some of us do. It's one of those things there. The answer is not that difficult to do. It's just people can't talk about it because it's a taboo subject. Oh, you can't say that. You can't do this. You can't. Oh, that's illegal.